Welcome to technology, comparisons, interview, crashcasts, where we simulate, real interview, scenarios to help you prepare for your next test job. I'm your host, Shayla, and today we're joined by Victor, a senior backend engineer, to discuss a common interview question about high-performance messaging queues. Victor, are you ready to dive in?
Absolutely, Sheila. I'm excited to share my knowledge and experience with the listeners.
Great. Let's start with our interview question. Aeron queue versus Chronicle queue. When would you choose one over the other for high-performance, low-latency messaging?
That's an excellent question, Sheila. Both Aeron queue and Chronicle queue are powerful tools for high-performance, low-latency messaging, but they have different strengths and use cases. Let's begin by briefly describing each one.
That sounds like a great starting point. Can you give us a quick overview of both queues?
Certainly. Aeron is an efficient, reliable messaging system that uses UDP, or User Datagram Protocol, for fast network communication. It also supports IPC, or inter-process communication, for messaging between applications on the same machine. Chronicle queue, on the other hand, is a Java library for storing a sequence of messages or events that can be read by multiple readers at the same time. It's designed for high-speed logging and messaging within a single application.
Interesting. So how would you decide which one to use in a given scenario?
The choice between Aeron and Chronicle queue depends on several factors. Aeron is typically better suited for distributed systems and communication between different processes or machines. It's great for scenarios where you need to send data across a network with minimal delay.
And what about Chronicle queue? When would that be the preferred choice?
Chronicle queue shines in scenarios where you need fast, persistent logging or messaging within a single process. It's particularly useful when you need to keep a durable record of messages or events, and when multiple parts of your program need to access the same data without slowing down the writing process.
That's helpful. Can you dive a bit deeper into the technical differences between the two?
Certainly. Aeron uses a design that avoids locks for communication between threads and UDP for communication between processes. This makes it very efficient. It also has sophisticated methods for managing data flow and correcting errors, which makes it robust for network communication. Aeron supports various ways of sending data, including one-to-one, one-to-many, and between processes on the same machine.
And how does Chronicle queue's architecture differ?
Chronicle queue uses a technique called memory-mapped files for storing data, which allows for extremely fast writing and reading. It's designed so that one part of the program can write while many others can read, without needing to use locks. This allows for excellent performance when many things are happening at once. Chronicle queue also offers features like replaying past events and appending new ones, making it ideal for systems that need to track a sequence of events over time.
That's quite detailed. Let's consider some edge cases. How would Aeron and Chronicle queue perform in a system with extremely high message volumes?
Both Aeron and Chronicle queue are designed to handle high volumes, but they might behave differently. Aeron's distributed nature means it can spread the work across multiple machines, potentially handling higher total volumes. However, the speed and capacity of the network could become limiting factors.
And what about Chronicle queue in high-volume situations?
Chronicle queue, being focused on performance within a single process, might have an advantage in raw speed on a single machine. Its use of memory-mapped files allows it to handle very high volumes with minimal overhead. However, it might be limited by how quickly the computer's storage system can write data.
What about fault tolerance and data consistency? How do they compare in those aspects?
That's a crucial consideration. Aeron provides built-in mechanisms for reliable delivery, including automatically resending lost messages. It also supports having backup publishers and subscribers, which enhances fault tolerance in distributed systems.
And how does Chronicle queue handle these concerns?
Chronicle queue ensures data consistency through its append-only structure and by immediately saving all messages to disk. This provides durability. However, for distributed fault tolerance, you'd need to add extra features, such as copying data to multiple machines, on top of what Chronicle Q provides.
Thank you, Victor. That was a comprehensive comparison. To wrap up, could you summarize the key factors to consider when choosing between Aeron Q and Chronicle Q?
Certainly, Sheila. The main factors to consider are 1. Distribution requirements. If you need communication between processes or over a network, Aeron is likely the better choice. 2. Persistence needs. If durable logging or tracking a sequence of events is a priority, Chronicle Q has an advantage. 3. Performance characteristics. Consider the specific speed and throughput requirements of your system. 4. Consistency and fault tolerance needs. Evaluate the built-in features of each queue against what your system requires. 5. Scalability. Consider whether you need to scale across multiple machines or within a single process. Ultimately, the choice depends on the specific requirements and constraints of your system.
Excellent summary, Victor. Now, for our listeners preparing for interviews, here are some tips. 1. Always start with a high-level comparison before diving into details. 2. Be prepared to discuss specific use cases for each technology. 3. Demonstrate knowledge of internal workings and performance characteristics. 4. Consider trade-offs and be ready to discuss edge cases. 5. Relate your answer to real-world scenarios you've encountered, if possible. Remember, interviewers are often looking for your thought process as much as your technical knowledge. Don't be afraid to think out loud and discuss trade-offs openly. That's all we have time for today. Thanks for tuning in to Technology Comparisons Interview Crashcasts. Until next time, happy interviewing.